All right, so we're getting ready to do the harvest of the processing of the chickens. And we're not supposed to do it for a couple of days, but the weather's looking really bad for the day we had planned. And it's going to be cold and raining, and it's been kind of raining here. So tomorrow, it looks like it's going to be about the optimum time. So I'm just prepping and getting some stations ready here for us to do. And then our birds are huge. Straight hat, come on. It turns out we had another one die of a heart attack last night. And I pulled it out and I weighed it just out of curiosity. It is 9.6 pounds. It's almost a 10-pound chicken. So these guys are way ready to go. They probably were ready last week. So, first time doing this, we're learning as we go, but we're gonna do it now. We just can't afford to wait even an extra couple days because it just feels like we're losing a bird a day to just cardiac issues because of their fast growth. So that's what we're doing today. So one of the key pieces of equipment is the plucker. And that's how we're going to get the feathers off. And it came from the online place I bought it, and it's got that protective film all over it. And it's very clearly, came from like China or something because the English is awesome. Please tear down the protective film. In 3 months of products leave the factory. Better English than I speak Chinese, so what am I talking about? Anyway, so they're getting this thing peeled back so we can do a test run on it today. And then, inside, we're just storing stuff for now, but I got a little bit of assembly to do. But inside here, we got these rubber fingers, and the chicken goes in there, and the whole thing spins around and plucks all the feathers, and then all the feathers come out down there out that spot. So some assembly required. And then the other piece that we'll test out today is the scalder, which is just in a box, no assembly required on that. So we'll take that apart, bring it out, and just make sure that turns on the way it's supposed to. The other day when one of the birds morted right in front of us, so we knew it was, we could process it, which we did, plucking the feathers by hand and doing all that, but we were able to scald it. We just, put it into a big pot of water that was about 150 degrees. And you do that for, dunking it in and out, kind of out of legs, and what it does is it softens everything up and lets the feathers come out. And so we were able to pluck it by hand that way, pretty easy and quickly. And then we were able to do the full processing of the bird. He was also a big one, so not much left of this guy. Super tasty. Anyway, we're going to try and get this finished up so that we'll be ready to go first thing in the morning. Get an early morning start because we got 57 birds that we're going to be processing. 10 minutes a bird. So I'm getting ready to do assembly on some of the pieces of my plucker. And again, like what seems to happen with many of these things, there are zero instructions on what you should be expected to do with the parts that they send. So you kind of have to intuit it a little bit. So here's what I've got. So I've got the plucker, right? And then I've got, down to the feet. And then this is what they sent with it. So, let me do it where you can see it. So this, I believe, I'm gonna have to attach these together like this, and then the feet will slide over, the cups will slide over the feet on the bottom of the plucker, so they can be left on and moved around, and then I think it looks like locked in place, or they can be removed so that there's like real stability on the platform when you're using it. And then I've got a bag of nuts and bolts and fasteners and a couple of hose clamps. So most of these will go for putting these together, and then these pieces here will be for the interior, which is it's got water built into it, so the hose is going to obviously connect here, and then inside, this is what I'm looking at here. So obviously it's like a T-fitting. So the part that the hose connects to will go out there. That means that water will be in here. And then as you can see, oh, can you see? Yeah, that's water comes out these little ports here that are pre-drilled into it. And that's an important piece. So that explains all of this. So I think I figured it out. I'm gonna see if I can put it together. All right, it's the morning of, and still got some setup to do. Got to do some chores, and then get to it. I'm planning to start in a couple hours, so it's just starting to get light. All right, we're getting our setup pretty much big pieces in place. We got the cones here. I'll drop the tarp on behind that in just a second, and we'll have some buckets down here to catch. You know, got the scalder and it's heating. That's going to be the long pole in the tent because it takes a while to heat that up. Depending on how long that takes, I may take out the turkey fryer and put water in that and get that thing up to speed. And then we got the plucker, and I'm about to plug that in. Why is my hand in the way there? All right, so the other thing is this is the hose input for the water lines for the plucker. Water flows through, and then everything flushes out. The feathers and all flush out. Well, that's a male. Well, the end of your hose is a male. So, it doesn't work. So I have to see if I can go, see if I got adapters for that. If I don't, it's an early morning run, which is frustrating. I didn't want to have to do something like that. Although I suppose it was inevitable being this is our first time out. But I'm gonna go see, and anyway, we'll just keep going. Hopefully everything's gonna everything else will fall into place. We're gonna get it done. It just may take a lot longer and more trips to the store. All right, okay, so here's how it's gonna work. We've got chickens. They're in the trailer. Chicken comes out, chicken goes in the cone head down. The sad part happens, and then they'll come out of there after 3 or 3.5 minutes. They go into the scalder for about 60 seconds. Then when they come out of the scalder, they go into the plucker. And they go in the plucker for about 30 seconds or so. Then from the plucker, they're gonna come over here, and they're gonna come onto the table where we'll clean them and just take all the parts. All the bad stuff goes down in there. And then when we're done with that, they go into the cooling barrel to take the edge off the temperature and store while we finish up the rest of the birds. And then we'll do some bagging and some parting out later on. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna show it because you can't do that on YouTube. All right, so we got some stuff in here. And then, oops. We got some more stuff in here, and then, hang on. All of these are here staying cold, and then we're gonna part them out. So it means cut them into breast, wings, thighs, all that stuff. It's a little after 11 o'clock, 2300. Dude, I'm wrecked. It was a long day. It's good though. We processed all 57 of our jumbo Cornish cross. First time doing it. Everybody was a champ. Everybody hung tight. So we've got 31 birds, whole birds shrink wrapped in the freezer right now. The rest are in a fridge. It's a 26 birds are in the fridge, and they're just staying cool. And tomorrow we're gonna continue. We'll go part them out. It really feels good to have all that done. But for now, I'm just glad to have as much done as we got done, and I'm just so proud of my whole family, the way they hung in there. So, all right, that's it. So this is how we disposed of the chicken guts. We don't have pigs. You know, pigs are a great way to dispose of everything, but we don't have pigs. So really, I mean, you got two choices. You don't want to take this to a landfill. That's just rude, right? We have enough land that we could put the guts out somewhere, just set them out, and eventually they're going to get eaten. The other option, you just burn them, and we chose to do that. It's been an adventure because it was 56 chickens worth of stuff. And we started this yesterday. It's still going, and that fire burned all night, but not when we were done with it. It looked like it was finished when I went to bed last night, but it kept burning through the night. I gave it a little stir, and that's what it's doing this morning. And oh, hey, you like my hat? I wore this while I was cleaning, and it got pooped on. I'll let your imagination run wild with that, but it needed a bath more than I did. So, but it's clean again. Yay! All right, so that's kind of what's going on. So we've managed to dispose of all that stuff, and that'll just keep cooking down for a while. All right, well, I'm gonna go eat some breakfast.